everyone, it's Maureen Yates, and today, as you can already tell, we are going to be talking about my tips for getting an internship, 2 internships under the belt now, so I feel like I have a couple things to say. I know I've done a lot of college advice thingies in the past, videos, but I've never done anything internship related, so I thought I would. So if you guys are excited about that, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new. Over on my Snapchat a few days ago, I asked if you guys would want to see this to screenshot that Snapchat, which is something I kind of do over on Snapchat to get some feedback. Side note, add me on Snapchat if you want to be involved in sort of having a say in what kinds of videos I'm posting, because I do go over there a lot to ask you guys what you want to see. A good number of you guys said you wanted to see this since it is sort of internship search season, or maybe if you're a senior like I am and you're applying to jobs. Getting so bright, I don't know why. I'm done talking, let's go ahead and get into what those tips are. So first up, we're gonna talk about LinkedIn. If you do not have a LinkedIn, you need to make a LinkedIn. I feel like there are 2 types of people, those who really love LinkedIn and those who are just kind of like, LinkedIn, don't really know her. If you're in college at any stage, especially like sophomore and on, like there's no reason you shouldn't have a LinkedIn, because when you're applying for jobs or just networking and meeting people, you need a professional presentation of yourself that's not just like Instagram or Facebook. I got this stat from LinkedIn. 75% of hiring managers look at LinkedIn before deciding to hire you. So if you don't have one, then that's just gonna be bad. If you're unfamiliar with it, or if you're just needing some general guidelines, I'm gonna quickly go through my top tips for making a good profile. First of all, you have got to have a profile picture, and it needs to be something that's professional. If you're trying to go into like banking, it should be like a nice, classy, like business headshot of you in like a suit or something. If you're going into more like casual, like sort of stuff like me, like social media, digital, whatever, then it doesn't need to be like that professional, because that's not even gonna be what you're wearing to work. Make sure it's not you in a t-shirt, and make sure it's not you doing some weird pose jumping into the sky. Like it needs to be like a put together portrayal of yourself, but like depending on your field, you can get creative and like make something cute. Next, you have to list your job experience. Volunteer experience is equally as important if maybe you don't have a lot of job experience, but if you do, even if it's not in the exact field that you're trying to get an internship in, even if it's you scooping ice cream, that needs to go on there, because that shows that you've worked with people. It actually does say a lot about you to still be able to say that you have some sort of job experience. Another tip I have is putting the industry that you're in on your profile. You're 38 times more likely to be discovered by recruiters if you have your industry, because they're looking for people in that industry. Mine, I used to have it as media production. Right now, I think I put it as internet, but I'm not in the internet industry. I don't know who is. Next, you need to have skills. When you're describing what you've done at each place of your internship, you can also have your skills there when you're sort of describing the roles that you did, but you can also list skills individually and then have people endorse you for them, and then you just don't sound like a liar who can do 85,000 things, because then you got other people to endorse them. Next, your summary is really your place to shine. It's your place to do exactly that, to summarize everything on the rest of your page. So if maybe someone is giving you a quick glance, they can see what you're about. It's a place to show your personality. Employers are looking for personality. You don't, again, have to be boring and sound like you're a Wikipedia article. Also list your education. If you're in any honors programs, if you have a good GPA, list that GPA. Final side note of a way that you can really utilize LinkedIn: they have over 1 million entry level and internship positions listed, so you can go directly on there, do some searching, find some stuff you'll be interested in, apply, connect with people. I cannot stress the importance of when you meet new people, when you have a guest speaker come to your class, or just generally the importance of connecting with people on LinkedIn. So I will have a link below. I will have a link below if you are in need of getting into LinkedIn. Aside from having your professional digital profile, you need the paper one as well. So just some general resume tips. I'm not gonna go into the specifics of everything you have on your resume. There's so many resources available for you to do that, and it's also kind of similar to things I just went over on LinkedIn. But my one tip, if you want your resume to sort of visually stand out, which if you're going into a medical field, that's like not important, but if you're going into something creative, make your resume aesthetically pleasing, a little creative. I'm not saying like get weird with it, but what I recommend doing is going on Etsy. They have countless resume and cover letter matching templates, if that makes sense, and they're really cute. So I bought one of those. Your resume is not the place to put jobs that aren't applicable to the job you're applying to unless you don't have enough experience. Cover letter, I'm trying to just give like general tips. So go on Google like how to write a great cover letter, and the most important thing you do for that, again, the more experience you have, the better it is, but only pull from the stuff that's relevant to the position you're applying for. It's good to have like a general backbone of a cover letter that you don't change tons of, but go in there and tweak little parts that make you sound exactly fit for all of the things that job A over here was saying it looked for, and you say, oh, I am all of these things, and then they're like, oh, interview. Paper stuff out of the way. Moving on to more of the social aspects of getting an internship, I guess. Networking. I talk about this a lot in videos. I've talked a lot about the importance of mentors or just generally networking and meeting people because you never know who people know. I cannot stress again the importance enough for like the 80th time on my channel of seeking out those relationships, sustaining them, telling people what you want to do and allowing them to come behind you and help you get there. Back when I was applying, well, all of junior year, so a year ago, I didn't know what I wanted to do for this past summer. I went to so many networking events. There's such a huge startup culture here, so I went to so many like startup events where just all these companies come, you get to like, it's literally just like networking hours. Even events that were not catered towards like college students, go to them because, I mean, honestly, that's better. There's less competition. But something doesn't have to be a straight up job fair for you to go and be networking and meeting people and forming those connections, adding them on LinkedIn, getting email addresses, setting up like getting coffee or having a phone call to learn more about the company. It's awesome to want to work at a really large like household name company, but for most people that is not their first step. If you are in an area where there are a bunch of startups, a lot of startups might not even have internships listed. You really have the power to create your own internship. I highly recommend meeting with people if you see a fit or something that you want to go in. Even like beyond thinking about startups, like go to your dad's friend's restaurant and tell them you want to like create social media accounts or run those for them and like work on their digital marketing. I don't know. My first internship was a unpaid internship that was like 3 days a week at the Summit Church, if you're familiar with this area, who does awesome video production stuff. They have 2 people on their video team, and that's where I built that general baseline experience. There was no internship I applied to. I reached out to the church, got coffee with the girl, and there you go, I got the internship. So be creative, be proactive. Another tip is just don't run away from unpaid opportunities just because they're unpaid. Seek out your school's resources. For me, I'm in the entrepreneurship minor here, and they funded my summer in Los Angeles this past summer. Other school resources, I know at UNC, we have a whole like career services department. They help with getting you entry-level jobs, and they also do help with internships. So if your school has something like that, go to it. When your school has a job fair, go to it. I think I've drilled that in enough. Let's say that you have done that application thing. If this is like a formal process and now you have an interview. Again, I'm not gonna go through a billion tips about what to prepare for an interview. Go on Google. Questions frequently asked during an interview. But one thing I will say to always be prepared to be able to do is everyone is always gonna ask you first to tell them about yourself. Don't come out and be like, and in your intro of telling them about yourself, like be like, and this is why I'm great for this position. Don't be that aggressive about it. But when you're telling them about yourself, you know, it's kind of like the cover letter again, describe yourself in a way that fits you to the position, if that makes sense. Another tip, this is my final tip, I think, unless I think of something else. Again, I've talked about this on my vlog channel, but it's important to know the current events happening in your industry. For me, digital media, constantly changing. I'm subscribed to the Synopsis digital newsletter. You get a daily email, it's like the Skim, but for digital media news, and I'm aware of like knowing what companies are being acquired and knowing that this show got canceled and knowing that like it's just very, very important to be aware of everything going on in your industry because again, especially as an intern, they might not expect for you to know much, or they might, but if you're in an interview or even if you're actually working there and you are able to talk about things going on in the industry, you're going to stand out so much, and that's pretty much that. So I would love to hear from you guys in the comments. If you're in college or beyond, I would love to hear about what your plans are for this summer or what you're hoping to get, or maybe if you already have it locked down. And that is it for this video. I don't really know what I just filmed. Good luck to all of you guys in your internship search. I hope that this is somewhat helpful. If you learned anything, please let me know because I feel like I just rambled all over the place, but I wanted to touch on a lot of things. Hope you get the job. You guys are all smart. You're gonna be great. Go after it. I drink coffee before this, can you tell? And I will see all of you guys next Saturday, unless I see you at the meetup, which I hope I do. Bye.